Hi, Taehyung lovers. Welcome back to the Taehyung Lovers channel all around the world. And this time, don't you dare skip the first 3 seconds, because what you're about to hear is not just a K-pop comeback story. This is the moment when the world truly lost control because of a single step from Kim Taehyung. March 2026, and everything collapsed without warning, without transition, without any chance to prepare. This is not ordinary content. This is a fact too big to ignore, too strange to explain, and too powerful to miss. Before the stage of The Tonight Show starring Fallon even began, BTS suddenly shook the world through Swim. And within seconds, the internet exploded. Twitter went wild. Google was flooded with searches. YouTube and TikTok seemed to glitch for no clear reason. But the most shocking part wasn't the virality, it was how it happened. No massive promotion. No crazy strategy. Yet one name instantly dominated globally. Kim Taehyung. And this is where everything started to feel irrational. Why did an empty white stage feel more dangerous than a grand one? Why did that red microphone make millions of people question endlessly? And most disturbingly, why couldn't we stop watching? In this video, we're going to break down facts that aren't widely discussed, things that may have even been intentionally left unexplained. The seconds before Fallon that triggered a global explosion. The mystery of the red microphone that split ARMY into theories. An analysis of Taehyung's movements called Inhuman by netizens. The psychological reaction of viewers, shifting from admiration to obsession. And the reason why this moment is called one of the most silent yet deadly stage dominations in K-pop history. So before we go deeper, make sure you're ready. Because the more you try to understand this, the deeper you'll get pulled in. And watch until the end, because after watching it all, you will see Kim Taehyung in an extraordinary way. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And most importantly, help this video go viral, so the world keeps seeing the extraordinary side of Kim Taehyung that cannot be explained by ordinary logic. Now, take a breath, because after this, nothing will feel the same again. March 2026, and everything collapsed. No warning, no smooth transition, no chance for the world to prepare. One step from Kim Taehyung was enough to trigger something that felt bigger than just entertainment. This wasn't a moment designed to go viral. This was a moment that forced itself to become viral. Within seconds, public emotion split between awe, confusion, even slight frustration at being unable to explain what was actually happening before their eyes. March 2026. A few moments before The Tonight Show starring Fallon stage officially began, BTS shocked the world by performing Swim. There was no major cue, no excessive promotion, yet the impact felt like a global explosion. Twitter moved wildly, Google filled with real-time search spikes, YouTube and TikTok seemed to lose control. The algorithm detected one identical pattern from millions of users worldwide. A name repeated, typed, searched endlessly. Kim Taehyung. This wasn't just a trend. This was a digital phenomenon moving too fast, even for the system itself to understand. What made the public even more uneasy was the simplicity that felt suspicious. A white stage, almost empty, without the visual distractions that usually define global performances. No excessive effects, no dramatic lighting forcing attention. And that's exactly where the power lay. When Taehyung stepped forward, the world seemed forced to pause. Not because of visual shock, but because of a presence too strong to ignore. His body, rhythm, and charisma worked in harmony that felt raw, honest, and nearly brutal. The red microphone in his hand became the next trigger of curiosity. Amid the clean and minimalist white dominance, that red felt like a deliberate disruption, a contrast that didn't just attract attention, but created questions. Why red? Is it a symbol? A hidden message? Or simply a psychological play executed perfectly? ARMY around the world immediately split into theories, debating the meaning behind that small detail. And that's where the real brilliance lies. Taehyung never explains, but always makes people want to find out. The camera then captured his face closer, and at that point, many began to lose words. His face was sharp, alive, almost like a breathing sculpture. No exaggerated expressions, no effort to look perfect. Yet that's exactly where his appeal grew stronger. There was an unforced masculinity flowing naturally, as if he wasn't performing for the world, but simply being himself without filter, without pressure. In an era where many public figures feel overly constructed, this kind of authenticity feels rare, and because of that, incredibly valuable. His movements intensified the situation. Energetic, yet not wild. Strong, but still controlled. Every step felt like a calculated decision, yet flowed effortlessly. In one moment, he struck the floor with full energy, creating a heavy, almost aggressive impression. But in the next second, his body turned light, as if gravity no longer applied. This contrast wasn't just visually beautiful. It was emotionally unsettling. The audience didn't just watch. They felt something hard to explain, something that made them want to keep watching, even when they didn't fully understand why. Around the stage, the reactions of ARMY became the clearest proof. They weren't just cheering. Many stood silent, frozen, as if afraid to miss even a second of what was happening. Their eyes followed every detail, the breath, the small movements, even pauses usually considered insignificant. In that moment, Taehyung wasn't just an idol. He became an emotional center of gravity, pulling all attention to one single point. And that's when the old narrative resurfaced, but this time with a different intensity. The most handsome man in the world. For some, this might sound exaggerated, even invite skepticism, but in that moment, in that space, the claim felt unquestionable. Not because everyone agreed, but because everyone felt something the same, and that was enough to shift perception. This phenomenon isn't just about popularity or visuals. It's about how one individual can create a collective experience felt by millions at almost the same time. A synchronization of global emotion that rarely happens, even in the digital era. And precisely because it's hard to explain, this moment becomes stronger, more lasting, harder to forget. March 2026 ultimately wasn't just about a performance before a major show. It was a moment where the world was reminded that amidst the noise of content strategy and algorithms, there's still something simpler yet far more powerful: authentic human presence. Kim Taehyung didn't just perform. He controlled attention, played with emotion, and left a mark that cannot simply be erased. Now, the question is no longer what actually happened on that stage. The question goes deeper and maybe slightly disturbing. Why can't we stop thinking about it? Is this about visuals? Technique? Or is there something bigger we're ignoring? And if you feel this is exaggerated, that's the most interesting part, because the more you try to deny it, the more you're forced to look back. So now it's your turn. Is this just hype or something far more real than we think? And now we've reached the most comfortable point, because after everything we've seen, one thing still lingers. Why does this moment keep replaying in our minds? Why does a single step from Kim Taehyung feel like something bigger than entertainment? This is no longer about whether it's viral or not. It's about how one moment can change the way we see everything. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoy content like this. If you don't, feel free to skip, because Taehyung Lovers never forces anyone. But one thing is certain: once you've seen it, you'll never truly forget it. Now, we want to hear from you. Is this just hype or real dominance that logic cannot explain? Write your opinion in the comments, because your voice is part of this bigger story. Stay tuned for the next updates only on Taehyung Lovers. Keep following every move of Kim Taehyung, because what happens next might be even more shocking than this. That concludes our meeting today. Good night, stay safe, and see you again. And remember, this is not over yet.